What's up, folks? MC Johnny T here, along with the queen of everything, Miss Amazon. That is the proud proprietor of Punkdemic LLC, the place to be. Before we get started with today's episode, today's special guest, it is my duty to plug everything and get y'all to take some action and go buy some more stuff because we got to pay bills and that's just how it goes. So I am rocking an official Punkdemic t-shirt, and you too can rock one in similar fashion. All you gotta do is swing over to punkdemic.net. That's punkdemic.net. That's punkdemic.net. Not to be mixed up with punkdemic.com. It's not the same thing. It's just not the same. Get yourself an official Punkdemic t-shirt, hoodie, sweatshirt. Maybe you're into coffee and tea. We got coffee mugs that are available on the website. Maybe you got a sassy baby that got a little of that Punkdemic spirit. Don't want a Punkdemic bib on that kid. I'm trying to get Amazon to sign up for some Punkdemic Speedos. Just hang tight, folks. They're coming. She says no, but I say yes. We're working on the Punkdemic Speedos. They're coming for you guys. And some Punkdemic flip-flops and some Punkdemic headbands circa 1984. We're working on it, folks. But for right now, grab yourself a hoodie, grab yourself a t-shirt, grab yourself a sweatshirt, grab yourself anything Punkdemic at punkdemic.net. That's punkdemic.net. One more time. For my folks that's a little on the slow side, that's going to be punk to the demic to the net. Hey, it's punkdemic.net.
Thank you.
I have to say it so folks don't forget. All right. So today we are joined by a good friend of Miss Amazon, Genesis Parker Davis. She's going to be joining the show today to talk a little about what she's got going on in her corner of the world, how it will impact the world and all of that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to know my role and I'm going to slide on out of here and I'm going to let the pros do what they do. Amazon, you're up.
Thank you. That was quite the intro. And thank you, Genesis, for being here. I appreciate it. Like, I know you're busy.
Thank you for having me.
You've been fabulous since I've laid eyes on you. It's been at least 20 years since I probably first met you. Never stopped being fabulous. Like, I haven't seen one picture, nothing of you not being coordinated from head to toe. It makes me sick. You're so goddamn fabulous. So, just kind of tell everybody what you've been working on lately, some of your designing projects or styling projects. Tell me what you're working on right now.
Well, what I'm working on right now, I think the biggest project right now is me.
Right.
I think it's one of the most important projects we have in life is working on ourselves. And it's part of the reason why I'm back. I'm 46 years old, and 14 years ago, for about 10 years prior to that, so about 24 years ago, I was full-time dedicated to fashion. I am a mother of 3 boys. They were very young at the time, and it's difficult. Like, I feel like the question is so broad. So to answer it, I'm like, am I telling my story or am I answering?
You can tell me whatever you want. Like, you had the boys, you were raising them, you still managed to be super fashion forward.
So basically what it was like, at that point, it was also a realization of me. My husband is, I call him Ghetto Fabulous, Ghetto Superstar. That's my nickname for him. Like, everybody in LA knows him. He's ran the reggae dance hall scene for years. We met when I was like 19. We got married when I was 21. And so it was really interesting to be in this, constant, I'm going to say, limelight. Going everywhere with him was like hard not to be spotted. And, self-esteem is really interesting because women aren't kind, and especially most women, I'm going to say, tend to not be kind. Let me correct my statement. And, in that environment, it gets really catty. Women had crushes on him, and it was always this thing. And I never had to deal with insecurities to that level. until we were together. And so, you know, I prayed tonight, you know, I mean, like I first and foremost always want to be a godly woman. And so I actually prayed like, God, what do I do with this? And he was like, you just have to be the best you, because there's no competition. There's always going to be somebody prettier. There's always going to be more, you know, someone more fly or has more money, has more expensive clothes or whatever. He's like, you just have to focus and hone in on being the best version of you. And
That's great
so, you know, I
advice.
mean, with, you know, limited budgets and stuff like that, I literally started, you know, turning sheets into outfits, curtains into skirts, like tablecloths into dresses, and just making my own clothes to make my own expression of self for these moments and times that, you know, I would go out with him. And it just really sparked in something that I was obviously born with. My grandmother, my dad's mother, was an extremely successful fashion designer. Frederica Evans. She made Nancy Reagan's red inaugural dress.
I
She
did not
made,
know that.
yes, she made Clint Eastwood's first wife's wedding dress, you know, his daughter's wedding dresses.
Wow.
She was the first black person, let alone black woman, to own her own boutique in Carmel Valley.
Wow.
Back in the 50s. She was selling blouses for $700 back then.
Back in the day. Wow.
Back then.
That's fantastic.
Of course, this wasn't something that she could have done on her own. She did have, you know, a best friend that was a white woman that acted as her face, basically.
Of course.
So, but it was my grandmother's shop. It was her money that put up that shop. She, you know, my father recounts stories of, you know, growing up, because they, you know, were in the Monterey Bay area. So they had the famous jazz festivals. Every celebrity, every black celebrity of that time was in my grandmother's living room. She was dressing them, styling them, making custom outfits for them.
Fantastic.
So she was very well to do. I didn't have the luxury or the privilege of growing up around her. So I never really got to experience that. I knew that from my father's, you know, stories and accounts, but you know, I would see my grandmother maybe every 5 to 7 years for a few days, because my father became a missionary. So I grew up in the mission fields, and you know, traveled all over the world. I never lived anywhere longer than 4 years until I got stuck in LA.
I'm glad
So,
you did. Anyway,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I lived in kind of Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Salvador, Spain, Portugal, North Africa, you know, so many different places, which I think has also influenced my sense of style. I think, you know, just experiencing all those different cultures growing up has really kind of like broadened my understanding of, you know, self-expression. But anyways, all that to say that in the process of me discovering my creativity, it just kind of dawned on me. Ironically, out of my grandmother's 7 granddaughters, I'm the only one that is named after her. So my middle name is Frederica. Now, I hated that growing up, especially because people called my grandma Freddie. I was like, ew, not sexy, not cute. I don't want it. I don't want to be a Freddie. And so I really, you know, like I would never use not even my middle initial, you know what I mean? Like, but I just kind of grew appreciation, because there's a lot to be said in a name. And I don't think it's by coincidence that I was given her middle name, and out of all her grandchildren, I'm the only one that has her gift. Now, I've never been to school for it. I'm not trained at all. I literally feel like I'm reinventing the wheel almost every time I do something or I make a piece. And 90% of the time after I'm done with it, I'm just like, I don't know how I did that. I don't think I can do it again. You know, so it is definitely a gift from God, you know, and where I'm at with it right now is just honoring that gift, because walking away from it was like spiritual suicide. Like, you know, I went from that to a desk job to, you know, selling insurance. You know, that's what I do for a living. I am an insurance agent. And although I'm good at my job, you know, I am one of the top producers in my company, every company that I've worked for, you know, because I'm a good people person and I sincerely, genuinely care and I want to do good and right by people. So it's been such a privilege because of that job, I was able to, you know, buy a house for my family. You know what I mean? My son graduated college debt free. You know, there's so many benefits to it, but it has been a self-sacrifice. There's nothing creative about it. And, you know, between the schedule and getting off of work and then having life, right? Now I gotta, you know what I mean? I am half Mexican. So yes, I cook dinner every day. Yes.
Right.
I take care of my family. You know what I mean? So it's like getting off of work, coming and home and just being mom, you know, putting the shoes back on the shoe rack, you know what I mean? Yelling at everybody to do their laundry. There's just no space and time to creativity before you have to hit the bed so that you can get ready for another day of slavery. So
I get it.
So coming back to this was more like, you know, the conversations I was having with God was like, I don't want to waste talent and ability that you've given me. And if it, you know, I try to lie to myself and be like, oh, you know, it's a hobby. It's a, you know what I mean? It's just something you like to do. You just like clothes, you know?
Yeah.
But I really felt more and more over the past couple of years, the weight of the responsibility of not using a gift that God gave you. It's, you know, we are made in his image. He created us with a purpose. He's got our destiny planned out. And every single gift, big or small, however you want to see it, is given to you for the purpose that he has for you here 100%. On earth. So not walking into those gifts, not walking in those gifts, not activating that, is not walking in purpose. And if you're not walking in purpose, then what's the point, you know? And then I struggled with that too, because I was like, okay, well, what's so great about fashion though? Like, how do you know what I mean? Like, how do you do this for God's glory? You know, because otherwise it seems so self-serving, right? Such a vanity type of thing, right? Oh, look at me, look what I'm wearing, look at, you know, look how good I look, like look how good you can look. And so it's like it can seem like something so mundane, so superficial, you know what I mean, so vain. And it's been really cool to just be able to listen to God and him show me how this can actually be used almost like a ministry. It's like, you know, he's bringing to attention all those self-esteem issues that I had, and how fashion was my cloak of confidence. Because at that point, if I loved my outfit, I didn't care what any of these other bitches were doing. You understand? Oh, can I say that? I'm sorry. Am I not?
Well, she said, "Can I say it?" Well, you kind of did already, but it's all right. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all right. We'll take care of it. We're good.
You're good.
So, you know, it's kind of like that was my cloak of confidence. It is my cloak of confidence, you know? So it doesn't, at that point, if I love my outfit, it doesn't matter who's got more money than me. It doesn't matter who's prettier, who's skinnier, who's taller, who's got a bigger, like nothing else really matters. I'm able to walk in confidence of myself. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you are confident in yourself, then there's no room for jealousy, right? Like, you don't sit there hating on somebody else. You're not envious. You're not, you know, preying on somebody else's downfall. You're not, you know, you're able to see everybody else's beauty on a very comforted level, you know? And I think that's so important and needed in the fashion industry, having compassion, empathy for others. I feel, I really feel like my mission is to help people feel great about themselves, to the point of being able to be kind to others just because they feel so good about themselves. And I don't know if any of that really makes sense. And I don't know if I hit
It
all the
does.
points that I meant
100%.
to paint,
100%.
but there's that. And ageism is another thing for me. You know, it's again, being 46 years old. I remember even my own mom, she was just like, you're a mom now. Why are you wearing that?
Right. Same.
You know? And it's just kind of like it's such a it's such a messed up concept to have of women. You know what I mean? That because we are now married, we're supposed to be, it's like, well, how did you catch your husband? And if you're not going to do that anymore, how are you going to keep him? Like,
Correct.
you know,
Bingo.
you know what I mean? There's
No,
all these things. I feel like with the right fashion guidance, you can save your marriage. You can, you know what I mean? Like, no longer consider suicide, or, you know what I mean? Like, raise your self-esteem. You can land the jobs that you know, didn't think you were good enough for. You can step into rooms and stride with people that you didn't feel like you were worthy to do so before. In ultimately, you know, use fashion like a cloak of righteousness, you know?
No, I was going to say, one of the things when I started the company, like officially, because, you know, it was an idea, you know, before it became an actual business, it was an idea. Everything is always an idea. But when I talked to Johnny about, you know, forming an LLC and making it official, one of the things that was on the top of priority for me was that we have to use this influence that we have, or whatever you want to call it, the brand itself, to do some good works for somebody else. And I was very adamant that it wasn't only about making money, it's about using what we make to improve somebody else's situation or life.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't originally supposed to have any kind of message or anything. Like I just, it's progressed into this thing that's putting out a message, or that's wanting to spread some kind of positivity. And ageism, something you touched on, we're exactly the same age. And I always tell the joke, like I'm 27 because I look younger than I am. So do you. In this industry, it's all about youth, right? It's all about staying young, looking young, the young. And it's like you get a certain age and they're like, you can't model anymore. You're not supposed to represent anymore. You're not supposed to, you know, put yourself out there at a certain age in fashion. And I was like, to hell with that. I started the business at 44.
So proud of you.
I'm going to keep doing it. You're going to get tired of seeing me. You're going to always wonder how old I am because I'm going to keep aging backwards if that's the thing. And if I don't age backwards, I'm going to age gracefully as hell. But I'm going to keep doing what I want to do. So for you, I always love that about you. Like, number one, you don't look your age anyway, right? Nobody knows. We would have to sit there and guess. But I appreciate the fact that you're like, you know what, I'm coming back to what I love. I raised my family. I did the same. My kids are all, you know, my youngest one is going to be 20. So I'm like, I did them. I did that part. Let's get back to me, right? So I love that. I love what you said about that. The whole thing about being confident and not feeling the insecurities and the jealousy. You know, that's something I battle with. I don't like cameras. This time last year, you could have offered me $1 million and I would not have done this. But it was wanting to get this out there, and the message and things like that it weighed more than my insecurities, right? So here I am in front of a camera. I'm still feeling a little uncomfortable, but I'm getting more used to it.
I think you're a natural. I can't believe you said that you're uncomfortable.
I can't stand cameras. I don't like pictures. I don't like to be on camera at all. But the only way for me to get the message out and get the brand out was to do this, and I had to, you know. And the same thing for you. Like, the only way to get it out there is for you just to do what you do. Like, the outfits you put together are freaking amazing. I don't know what size you are. I will never wear what you wear size-wise, but God, you make it look so fabulous. So,
Thank you.
as far as styling, what does that entail? What's styling? What is styling? Everybody calls himself a stylist, but what is it?
So, I think that a stylist is someone that is creatively inclined with fashion and can use other people's creativity for their self-expression.
Okay.
I think that's the best way that I would put it, because you're not designing it, but you are creating the look, which is part of designing, except where you're not sitting there cutting and sewing and stitching everything together yourself. You're just using what somebody else did. It's really fun. I love it because I'm a shopaholic, and I find great joy in finding pieces from random stores, random places, mixing vintage with new, and even occasionally mixing it in with a couple of original pieces or whatever. But just creating a look that's different. Even if you're using pieces that everybody wears or everybody has seen, but giving them a twist of creativity that makes it an outfit that is going to stand out. I'm very confident always when I step out my door. I'm never going to walk into a room and somebody's going to be wearing the same outfit I am. It's
Never.
impossible.
Never.
It's impossible. Even if we shopped at the same mall, even if we bought the same dress, it's not going to be the same outfit because of styling. So I do, I'm not saying this with any shade or any haterade or anything like that, but I follow multiple, even prior to launching my own style page and wanting to. So I'm like, what is out there? Because it does seem like everybody's a stylist. Like everybody is
No.
doing these little videos in their living room or in their closet or whatever and putting outfits together or whatever. But I feel like I just how can you call yourself a stylist? Like there's nothing, I don't see originality like that. Now there are some people that I follow that I'm just like, woo, that
Yes.
was incredibly
Same.
creative. You know what I mean? But I feel like 70 to 80% of the stylists out there are you're just giving me mannequin vibes.
No, seriously.
like
Just
you're
like
just giving me,
everybody's a life coach.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everybody, there's like a billion life coaches now out there, and you're like, what are you really coaching? Like, what do you do?
Their lives
Right.
are in shambles, but they're coaching somebody else's life.
But you're gonna tell
Yeah.
Right.
me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so, anyways, to answer your question, in my opinion, that is what styling is.
Well, no, and you are always stylish. So, like, if you were out in like some yoga pants and a t-shirt all the time, talking about you were a stylist, I'd be like, well, yeah, I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna vote no for this one. Like, I'm good. Um, I've been holding on to this for a bit, Genesis, and I decided to wait until I got you on here. But Genesis created a piece out of one of my shirts a while back. Has it been a year? It's been a while.
Has it been
And
a year? Yeah,
I
probably.
freaking love what she did with my shirt. Like I was blown away by it. So I had an idea to eventually get to you and request humbly that you put together a couple of pieces like that for me under the Punkdemic brand.
I would
Um,
love
so
to.
that we can, upon request, they can go on and request um, something similar to what you designed for me last year. I love it. I would be honored if you would find the time to do that for me. I don't know how that would look on the business end of things right now per se, but I'd love to have that on my website, to have a couple of those. It's a dress, no? It could be considered a dress.
It can be if you're bold enough. Yeah. I
Well,
wore it with
because
some little booty shorts and called it a dress. And then you can wear it with some leggings. I mean, it just depends on the size because if we're doing it, you can do, I mean, I think you sent me like a large or medium or large. I think I asked because I just
I think
wanted
it was a
room to play with.
medium. I
Yeah.
want to say it was a medium.
Yeah.
But like
So it
for
all depends for summer.
summertime, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some little shorts under it and just be rocking the hell. Yes, I see it. I
Yeah.
see it.
Let's do it. I'm totally down. Yeah. They could be custom orders.
Exactly. And you're talking to here, Johnny Taylor is my my business partner in Punkdemic, and he's also the one that will put things together on the numbers end. That's his department. That's why I love him, because I was a creative person. I was not mathematically inclined or technically inclined. That's what he does. But he would be the one to kind of incorporate it onto the website and things like that. But I've been mulling it over forever, and I'm like, yo, eventually I want to branch out into different kinds of fashion. But it'll be a nice little transition to have some originals done by you. If
Absolutely.
I would love that.
Girl, you know I got you no matter what. Let's do it.
I know.
Let's do it.
Johnny, did you have any questions for Genesis at all, or anything? I know this is not necessarily your field of expertise.
This is just a guy that's all about some t-shirts and a hoodie. So this is well beyond fashion for me. My idea of fashion is like, yo, I got that velour tracksuit that I'm rocking. And it went down yesterday in the velour, by the way. It went down.
He did. He posted a picture in the blue velour, and I meant to talk mess, but I couldn't find enough time.
Honey.
Yo, dude, hey. And I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Line me up with some overalls, put some airbrush on it, and we got fashion. But this other stuff, yeah.
It can work. If you do it right, it can work.
See, I like Genesis. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't shoot down all of my ideas right away.
Don't encourage these velour suits. Don't you do that. Nobody's here for that. Nobody's here for the velour.
It's too late. It's done.
But yeah, he would be the one to figure out, how to get it up on the. He puts everything on the site for me and gets everything straightened out. But
we'll line it up. We'll market it. We'll create some demand for it. For only this many people, only they can get this thing and whatever. Portion of the proceeds go to blah 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 blah. With a little yada yada yada.
What you gotta do when you edit this, you gotta insert the actual shirt we're talking about, so people follow in on what's to come.
Yeah, well, I have all the videos that you did for that particular shirt, and then we can start hyping it up, Genesis. How are you going to use your name when you do your designs? Do you have a particular name you want to use? Or
so just like you got Johnny, I got my God sent sister. She's actually, I've known her since she was 15. She used to babysit Prince for me when he was born. And then wound up marrying my brother, my youngest brother. So now she's legit my sister. And she is incredible. She is also a huge part of why I came back, because she was constantly like, Genesis, you got to get back to your fashion. I mean, I made all her prom dresses, her winter fall dresses when she was in high school. So it's like, she's always known me on that aspect. And then she's saw the transition of me just, going into work office, mode and stuff like that. And so she has been my number one ride or die and supporter. And so she handles also the business part, numbers and stuff. Like I said, I don't have a brain for it. She's like, no, you got to charge this. You got to, this is her and my brother are the ones that have been shooting all of my social media videos.
They're so good, by the way. They're damn good.
Incredible. Visual proximity. Instagram handle at visual proximity. Check their work out. They're a team. It's my brother and his wife, my sister. They work 2 cameras at a time. They've got different angles. They're like a super power couple. Incredibly creative, both of them. Work seamlessly together. I mean, their camera quality, their lighting, their edits, their everything is just top notch with them. And I'm just incredibly blessed and humbled that they are lending their gifts to promote mine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just dropped them a follow. We're good.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I'm not going to remember. I'm going to be like, what was the name? Dude.
Yeah.
We'll put it together. We'll figure out what it looks like and how to do it. Understand, I am a startup business and I am starting up. So I am on a startup business budget as of now. But I really loved what you did, and I was shocked by it. I was like, holy cow. I know she didn't just turn this shirt into this whole beautiful. And then you wore it, which look at you. So there's that. That didn't hurt at all, by the way. So yeah, that's something I've been mulling around. And then maybe we'll do some work when I get into wanting to change the type of fashion that I'm doing. You know what I mean? This is just my initial idea, my initial project, but there's so many other things that I like, and you really just nailed that. You nailed it. So,
thank you, honey. It was a lot of fun. And I love
dude.
that shirt. Yeah.
So now, do you have your own like website and everything set up for styling, or?
So that's what I'm working on right now. When I said, when you said, what are your upcoming projects? I was like, the project is me, because honey, I need to get it together. Yes, I'm, currently designing the website, where you will be able to either subscribe to my page to be able to buy my looks. You'll be able to, see the price sheet for closet revamps. I can come to your house, take a look at your closet, find
Nice.
what pieces you can maximize, find the gaps that you need to fill in so that your closet always works for you, teach you how to use what you have, or how to use what you have in multiple ways to, make your closet go a lot further than just one outfit, because that's the shirt that goes with those pants type of deal, which is what most people end up doing.
Like a day look and an evening look with the same kind of a
Yes,
thing.
yes. So there'll be rates listed for that. There'll be, shopping for a special occasion. So where I'm not doing the whole closet thing, you just have a special event, your birthday, your anniversary, your, vacation, whatever. And you just want to shop for specific outfits for
Nice.
for a particular event, between your budget and then my rates. So there'll be options for all of that. And then, of course, my original pieces, which I'm really excited to start doing and putting out there again. I am currently not considering a full line, because I know the level of intricacy with which I design, it would require a huge investor
No, for
to
sure. Yeah.
to produce multiple pieces. But I'm very excited to work with artists and do one-on-one original pieces. That's always been one of my favorite things, because I feel like if you are an artist, you need to look like nobody else. And I
100%.
think that's very important, as to create an image, to be a trendsetter. I mean, I love music so much. You know that about me.
Same. Yeah.
I know. I know. That's why we're sisters.
Exactly.
So I love music so much. So I'm really excited to, that is what I'm calling forth, is artists to work with and create original pieces for. And that's where my creativity will go. And my sister-in-law and I are also working on, several different like t-shirt concepts. We have apparel apostles that we want to create, which is just going to be really positive messages,
Nice.
good affirmations, good, you know what I mean? It's just like, I want people to understand it's cool to believe in God. You know what I mean? It's cool to be a Jesus freak, and it doesn't have to look like what other people look like. I am probably the most controversial person. I don't know if you saw on Instagram, I put, there's this meme that is going around talking about, I know people look at my page and they wonder, is she spiritual? Is she ratchet? Is she ghetto? Like, what is going on? Again, like I said at the beginning, I am a missionary's daughter, and I know I don't look like what people expect Christians to be. And I feel like it's important for people to know that there's people like me that simply love God and are simply looking to be Christ-like and not to look like what Christians look like, because I know I don't. My speech, my lifestyle, my mannerisms, the way that I dress has nothing to do with the position of my heart and my relationship with Him. And I think that people, if more people had that connection, it would just change. It would revolutionize. I think most people are, church hurt, religiously hurt, you know, and it keeps people away from God.
If
And that's
you
terrible, you know.
if you
So,
really study, which I have, I grew up. I was raised in a traditionally Southern Baptist household. Like my grandmother raised me a lot of the time, and because my mom was most of the time a single mom, and I say most of the time because Papa was a Rolling Stone and whatever else. But I also grew to love different religions and want to study them all. But all that to say, if you study the Bible, right, you'll know that Jesus was not running around rocking with the church people. He rolled with people who you would never ever think that he would be hanging out with, right? That's one of the
absolutely.
things I loved about um, the Bible and the stories was like Jesus was hanging out with prostitutes, he was hanging out with drunkards, he was hanging out with murderers, he was hanging out with, if you put him in today's time, he would be hanging out with people that you would never in a million years, as far as what the standard of church people um,
Yeah.
go by, that he would keep the company of, right?
Yeah.
So my motto is always, you never know who you're talking to, and you can't just base it on how they look. You can't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is 100% true. Like, what does that mean? What does a church person look like? What
Exactly.
what does a
So,
Christian look like? What is that supposed to really look like? Especially in this day and time. What is that? Exactly.
exactly.
You know.
And that is our goal with the brand that we intend to put out, Apparel Apostles, is just that, you
That's
know what I
dope.
mean, just like bringing it. I love the name, I love the concept, and so that's one of the things coming up. Like I said, again, you know, the one of a kind pieces, the one-offs and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then being able to actually offer styling services. You know, right now the social media is just kind of like my reintroduction to the world as, okay, this is why I let me show you why I know what I'm talking about. You know, and like you, believe it or not, I really don't like the camera either. You know, everything that I did 14 years ago was for other people. I styled other people. I never was the one wearing what I styled and being photographed and
You
all
look
of that.
great.
Thank you. Thank you. It's hard. I'm a Virgo. Nobody is more self-critical than a Virgo. Um, so every
I get
shoot, I
it.
have to pray for kindness for myself and look at it, because it's like I love the shot, the camera, the lighting. Like what you guys did, great. So I'm talking shit about me. Like,
Right.
oh my
This is me
god,
we're
like,
talking about. I'm the same.
you know, I was like, oh, that angle, you can see my double chin. Oh my god, oh my god, this and so I just, you know,
Well,
it's just been like, okay, just love yourself, accept yourself. You know what I mean? Like, just don't be a self-critic. Let it be, let the clothes speak for itself, and just, you know, shut up and be humble.
I
So
really appreciate how much you talk about just being positive and self confidence. It's hard out here for women. I don't
it
think people
is.
understand how critical people are of women, and then how critical we are of ourselves. It's crazy the stuff we think about. Um, like right now, I'm here and I'm talking to you. My brain is still thinking about probably 20 other things while we're talking.
Yeah.
How's my hair look? How's my outfit look? How's the angle of the camera? Like, how do I, there's
Yeah.
just so much pressure as women to present ourselves in certain ways. So I really like that you have such a positive message. I appreciate that so much. And you're freaking gorgeous. It's ridiculous. Like, just
Aw,
cut it out. Seriously. Like,
thank you.
seriously.
Thank you,
Ridiculous.
honey.
Ridiculous. Um, So, Johnny, we're not going to talk your head off about this stuff all day. So, he actually
No.
collects T-shirts. Johnny is a
Oh,
T-shirt connoisseur. If you go on the Hip Hop Organics page, or his other page, his MC Johnny T page, every
mm-hmm.
day or whenever he had a new post, he had a different T-shirt on. Like, he wears. Tell him about some of your shirts, Johnny. Some of your favorite. It's ridiculous. And then he'll wear socks to match. It's a thing.
It's what I do. It's what I do. Um, like I don't consider myself a stylist by any stretch of one's imagination. uh, not at all. And I'm probably the last guy you want to take any fashion advice from because I'd be like, oh, just throw on a t-shirt, pal. And that is probably not the solution for any of it. But I'm a teacher as well. And I work with special ed and I work with high school. And,
oh my God.
and
God
it's
bless
not
your
all
patience.
it takes a lot. And some days it's a challenge. But on my campus, I'm the t-shirt teacher. And it's a point of identification. It's a place where people can relate. It, it you guys are talking about ageism and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, all you got to do is be 10 years older than a high school kid and you're old. So if you're wearing a t-shirt that's representative of something that they're into, whether it's an anime, whether it's a film, whether it's some music artist that they're into, and then I work hard to stay up on their brands because, you know, you got to at least be able to speak to it, or even though it may be something I'll never wear, it'd be like, yo, I know you must have spent at least this much on it. And they're like, well, how would you know that?
Yeah.
Because it's being connected. So it creates a point of identification.
That's
So
awesome.
so a lot of stuff that I wear, it's cartoons or it's something that's got some element of some kind of dry humor, or because I teach math, it's math related humor.
Cool.
Some of it is original design stuff. You know, definitely is some Punkdemic stuff. You know, I have to make sure I set that so you're not like, well, where's your Punkdemic stuff on campus? I wear Punkdemic on campus.
But you're wearing it. You're wearing it. Thank you, sir.
It's what we. Hey, if I don't rock it, how am I going to expect anybody else to? Right? So, and kids ask about it. So, and then you know, I paid attention to Boomerang when John Witherspoon was like, you know, we don't just stop there. We got to coordinate. So we got to have the matching socks to go. It don't just stop at the t-shirt. We got to get the Punkdemic socks to go along with it. But we don't stop there.
Socks. I'm open to the socks, not the damn Speedos.
We got to have the underwear too. You know what I'm saying? We got to have it all.
We're not doing that. We
got to get the official Punkdemic whitey tighties. We got to have that too.
Not.
You know what I'm saying? Nice big Punkdemic logo on it. So
no. We can have socks though. I'll give you socks. We're not doing Speedos. We're not.
All right, I'll take the win. I'll take any kind of win I can get today. So we got Punkdemic socks coming. We'll work.
Bingo. All right, you can have the socks.
So I'm just into t-shirts, and I look at places. I'm all kinds of places where I can just find anything that's unique. They're conversation starters.
Yeah.
They're just easy conversation starters, even beyond working with students. Just being out in the world, it's just a conversation starter. It helps to break the ice. It helps to break the ice without even having to work hard to break the ice.
You can test some shirts out on Johnny here.
There you go.
He will wear socks that match it. I don't know what that's about exactly. He has posts of like Chocola's with his little socks, showing off his socks with like pizza slices on it, or just some random ass. Like I don't know. It's okay.
I love it.
We got a little Tom and Jerry. Some people would say they're mismatched. One sock would have a bunch of hamburgers on it. The other sock would have a bunch of French fries on it. You know, they go together like burgers and fries. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. You're done.
You gotta keep it together. You know what I'm saying?
Supersize it. Yeah.
Nah. See, Genesis, you understand me, and I appreciate that you do.
Don't encourage him at all. Do not.
Got you.
No,
and when she says don't encourage me, that absolutely means encourage it. That's exactly what she means by that. So,
okay, sir.
Today we're running with the Tom and Jerry socks because it's just a Tom and Jerry kind of a day, and there will be a Tom and Jerry T-shirt that goes on post podcast recording today.
You're done.
As I get ready to go do my class for school in a little bit, I will. Rock Tom and Jerry.
Did Jen ever come in?
No.
Oh no! If she came in, she'd be on.
Yeah.
That's okay. I am 100% happy with this. Like, it's nice to really. I like to have conversations where we can kind of dig a little bit into more than just the surface, and I think we did that a little bit
Yeah.
today. So I'm happy with it.
I know I feel enlightened on some things today.
Right,
Believe it
exactly.
or not, I feel like I've learned some things today off of this episode. You
What
know,
do they say?
Really?
We're two or
yeah,
more gathered, right?
yeah.
So we
Well, I
we
mean,
did
I kind
we
of
did
feel
well.
bad for I feel bad for you guys as ladies, like walking off of this today, like, man, you guys really got to go through that much processing in your head, and here I am, just throwing some velour in a t-shirt, you styling, and
No, no, you're not.
you guys having to really go through all of that stuff. Like that's just
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we do.
So I'm gonna ask the question, and
Hmm.
I have to preface everything. I'm asking the question out of the space of ignorance. Don't be showing up in arms ready to cancel old Johnny T and Punkdemic. Really doesn't know the answers to this stuff. You have to say stuff like that in 2024 because everyone is so sensitive. So for women, for you guys, as a guy, like all of the things that you guys talked about, where your insecurities are, the double chin, pal, the quadruple necks, the this, that, and the other. Like as a guy, I kind of really never pay attention to that kind of a thing. Uh, where does that come from? And I'm not suggesting that. Well, it's not for you to pay attention to. We're not out here insecure because we worry about what guys think of us. But you kind of look at the stuff that, in general, guys might find a point of insecurity about, and it's totally not that. I think for us, a lot of the times, it's more financial, more than it is the the physical appearance kind of a thing. Like, where does that stuff come from for you guys without getting too Sigmund Freudy? Like, where, because I'm looking at you guys and neither one of y'all are ugly. So, um, if I'm just the guy looking at it out and I just saw you guys on the street, I'd be like, yeah, that looks like some chick who can pull some dudes. Or that looks like a chick who can pull some chicks because that also happens in 2024 now. Or can pull some non binaries or can pull some whatever they identify with these days. That looks like someone who can pull some pronouns, pal. Okay. That's probably the best way to say it. But Amazon looked great today. Well, you look great for all the
Thank
episodes,
you.
but then you're thinking about, is your hair the right way? Is this in the right way? Is this not the right way? And I'm thinking like, y'all, I'm concerned about, man, is she just pulling off the interview the right way? Genesis, stylist, extraordinaire. Like you are committed to making other people feel better about the way that they look. So I wouldn't think that someone in that position would have the issue with about the way that they look. Help me to understand. How was this a thing? How does this happen?
So I think insecurities have always existed from the beginning of time. You know, it's how we measure ourselves against each other. And that's always, it derives from a poor knowledge of self. Um, and I think that, especially in today's society, there isn't enough quiet time to have the inner reflections to get that knowledge of self. So our image, our self image, our concept of self is only based on what we feel we can mirror. And so, you know, when social media, TV, magazines, music videos, artists, everybody's always putting out there this supernatural concept of beauty. You know, it's like you've got the Kim Kardashians, you've got the whole Barbie movement, you got the whole, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like women are set up to strive for a level of perfection that is unnatural to have, and
100%.
and and never based on true self attributes, right? um you know, again, when we talk about my journey of self-esteem, you know what I mean, like the way God dealt with my insecurities was really honing in on like, what kind of woman do you want to be? You know what I mean? Not what you want to look like who do you want to be? Like, you got to hone in on really being the best that you can be, and then nothing else is going to matter. But unfortunately, either most women don't have that relationship with God or don't have mentors or friends that can give them that advice. So all they know is, what do I need to do to look like Kim Kardashian?
Right.
Because every girl at the club that I'm going to is trying to look like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. It does make sense.
So there's that. And then, you know what I mean? It also ends up equaling self-worth, right? So we are in a, visually stimulated society to where the better you look kind of equals
Your
how
value.
good of a man you can land, right? So everybody's looking for that life partner, that support, but it's like, okay, I have to look a certain way so that I can attract a certain type of man and then have the type of lifestyle that I see myself having, or that I want, or that I feel I deserve, or whatnot, So a lot of times your image equals the lifestyle that you're ultimately looking to obtain. Again, something that could be so easily remedied with taking a look at yourself and working on yourself and being the best version of yourself. And, like most of us boss bitches do, end up just making your own way, where it doesn't have to, and you can still find your life partner along the way, but then your image doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Like what you're impending on to reach the lifestyle that you want. You just simply create it for yourself. And there are a lot of women out there that, have that message in mind. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a man. I can do it myself. I can buy myself flowers, that whole movement. There is a lot of that, but then there's still so much insecurity in that, because then it becomes opposite. So now your self-esteem is being based on your money, but you still don't feel good about you. You know what I mean? So
I will also say I do not want to buy myself flowers. Okay? Just because I get out here and make my money and do all of these things and start a business and all that. No, you're still buying me flowers. Like, there's that too. Like, if you're not super dependent on somebody, then you're in this category. And if you're super independent, then you must not want anyone to buy you flowers, right? You want to do everything on your own, and you don't want any help, and you don't want. So there's just so many different jackets that are put on women across the board, besides just how they look, that dictates how they feel about themselves. And I think, again, that's one of the reasons why, Genesis, you do what you do and I'm doing what I'm doing, is I had to create my own damn lane. I created my own lane because I'm celebrated here. This is where I'm celebrated because this is my space. The logo, or the saying, refuse to be put in a box, which is on the site or whatever. I mean that. Like, I didn't fit in a lot of different areas and categories and groups and this, and I'm 5'11". I've never been thin a day in my life. Well, maybe when I was really young. So I'm never going to be a size 6. It's not going to happen unless I just don't eat. And I don't want to be, right?
Yeah.
So I created my own way, my own lane, my own space. And you either love it and embrace it, or you can keep it pushing and don't like it at all. But I think that's something else that's happening is, you're kind of getting tired of that and saying, you know what, no, I'm going to be my own person, and I'm going to set my own standards for myself on what makes me valuable. And it's unfortunate, a lot of people, especially young women, they're not there yet. They're not there yet in their thinking, and they're still striving to be that Kardashian, or, the video girl with the size 2 waist with the 75-inch butt. Again, some of us are made
and
that
the
way.
number
God
2
bless
pencil
Africa,
legs.
but a lot of us aren't. And it's about self-acceptance, I think. That's a good question, though, Johnny. That was a great question.
I don't know. Did we answer your question?
I know, we just went all over the place. See?
Well, Amazon, that was my one for the day. Score. And yes, I get it. It just comes from a lot of programming, it feels like. And just kind of just not really being in touch with your own self.
Bingo.
See, fellas, I wrapped it up for you guys too. You know what I'm saying?
You did.
Help us navigate those waters. We're good. Man, here comes the part of the show that I actually kind of hate sometimes. It's the part where we kind of got to wrap it up. Because, with the way our distributors work, our episodes have to only be a certain length of time.
Yeah.
And we're coming to that part to where we gotta kind of put a bow on this one. But this one's it's been a really nice episode here. It's been great learning and getting some insights about some different aspects of things, and definitely with fashion. I know that that's a very superficial industry on some level in some areas of it, some sectors of it. But I love that you're being a creative and you're owning your gift and sharing it again with the world. I think that's going to be a great thing. So you've had a chance to kind of plug what you're doing, but if you have anything that you have going on that's more in the immediate, any calls to actions, like I was telling everybody, go run to punkdemic.net in the beginning of the show. I would tell people at the end of the show, still go run to punkdemic.net. But if there's anywhere for people to run to for some Genesis Parker Davis stuff, where will we send folks?
Hey, I'm trying to grow my following, so please like and follow my post at Instagram handle at Genesis_Parker_Davis. I know it's kind of a long name, but you can add the link to that.
We'll include the link with our text feed that comes out with our podcast. We'll make sure that that's there.
Definitely. Just like, comment, and follow would help me a lot right now at the stages that I'm at. So definitely would appreciate that.
Well, you got my support and you got Punkdemic support.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever else you got going on. It's always fucking see, I'm cussing. It's always fabulous. No matter what she does, I don't
FCC,
even. She can like make
the FCC. Oh, Amazon. Well, actually, you can. This is your show. You can do that as much as you want.
Hey! That's what you're for. You're gonna edit it out. Edit it out.
Oh, post edit. We're gonna do that and post edit.
That's why
post production.
So you can edit out the F-bombs and make it all pretty and put a bow on it, as you say. But just thanks for showing up for me. I appreciate it. That means a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, this is a privilege and an honor. And, first I was like, why does she want to have me? I'm like barely getting back. I hardly have anything going on yet, but it was
yes, you do.
Great to be able to, tell part of my story. And thank you for that opportunity and just to help put me back out there. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. That's what you're supposed to be, out there.
People aren't going to buy your product. People are going to buy you. And so this is a great opportunity to either reintroduce or introduce yourselves, especially to our audience that's expanding and growing. And then the beautiful thing about podcasts is that, somebody will discover us, 8 or 9 or 10 episodes out, and then we end up with what are called the legacy listeners. They're like, oh, I really enjoyed this new show so much. I'm going to go back and check for this other stuff.
That's the plan.
And they're going to come back in and they're going to be able to connect with your story on a lot of different levels because it's a fairly common story out there. So
awesome.
I can appreciate you peeling back the layers and just sharing from a very organic space.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
No question about it. All right. Well, I guess it's time for us to go ahead and just get up on out of here. We kind of got to work on a smoother landing for these episodes. Amazon. I just feel like they're just kind of abrupt, like, all right, bye, see you later.
Thank
we gotta work on a smoother landing.
To Punkdemic Radio or whatever you want to say.
That's right.
Until next time.
I'll work on it. I'm in front of the camera. There's like one baby steps here.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And you know what, Genesis, thank you for the transitional phrasing to get us out of here. I'm going to take that under advisement. You might be entitled to a royalty or something. You might use that on the next one coming out. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today. And it's a good day to have a great day. You guys spread love, be kind to each other, and we're out of here. Bye.